This is Africa you didn't know. They tell you the Rwandan Genocide was ancient tribal hatred. But the truth is far more sinister. It was engineered by a racist colonial lie called the Hamitic Hypothesis. Let me explain what that is. Because this poison didn't just destroy Rwanda, it infected how the world sees all of Africa. The Hamitic Hypothesis was a 19th century European racial theory that claimed anything impressive in Africa, kingdoms, architecture, trade networks, agriculture, couldn't have been built by real Africans. So they invented a mythical race called Hamites, light-skinned people from the Middle East or North Africa who supposedly migrated south and civilized the primitive black Africans. It was pseudoscience designed to protect white supremacy. If Africans built Great Zimbabwe, invented iron smelting, or ruled sophisticated kingdoms, the entire justification for colonialism collapsed. So Europeans created a fake racial category to explain it away. Now here's how they weaponized it in Rwanda. Before the Belgians arrived, Hutu and Tutsi weren't separate races. They spoke the same language, Kinyarwanda, shared the same culture, worshipped the same god, intermarried freely. The terms described social roles. Tutsi were cattle herders, Hutu were farmers. You could change status through wealth or marriage. Families had members in both groups. Then the Belgians arrived with their calipers and measuring tapes. They measured skulls, noses, and heights. They declared the Tutsi were Hamites, a superior race from Ethiopia who had conquered the inferior Bantu Hutus centuries ago. Why? Because Rwanda had a centralized kingdom with laws, administration, and order. And their racist ideology couldn't accept that black Africans built it. So they divided a unified people using fake science. The Belgians issued identity cards based on physical features and cow ownership. If you owned more than 10 cows, you were classified Tutsi. Less than 10? Hutu. They turned economic status into permanent racial identity with the stroke of a pen. Then they gave the Tutsis all the power, all the education, all the administrative positions, all the economic advantages. They created a race hierarchy where none had existed. They told the Tutsis they were naturally superior. They told the Hutus they were naturally inferior. Neighbors who had lived together for centuries were suddenly taught they were different species. The Belgians ruled through division for decades. But when independence came in the 1960s, they flipped the script. They backed Hutu extremists and armed the resentment they had manufactured. The propaganda was vicious. Tutsis are foreign invaders. They stole your country. Hutu power is liberation. By 1994, the poison had spread completely. 1 million people were slaughtered in 100 days. Neighbors killed neighbors. Churches became massacre sites. Machetes were distributed like pamphlets. Not because of ancient hatred, because of a Belgian pseudoscience experiment that turned social categories into a race war. The Hamitic Hypothesis wasn't just wrong. It was a weapon. And Rwanda is still healing from a wound that Europe carved with lies, racial hierarchies, and colonial arrogance dressed up as science. This is the Dossier. One truth a day until our history stands tall again. Follow the Dossier.